Most people are asking the wrong question. They're asking which AI is smarter, which AI writes better, which AI feels more human. But if you run a business, or plan to, those are not the questions that matter. The real question is, which AI can you trust when the stakes are real? Not when you're drafting a tweet, not when you're brainstorming ideas, but when you're reviewing contracts, analyzing financial risk, writing client-facing reports, making decisions that affect revenue, operating under compliance constraints. Because in business, mostly correct isn't good enough. Today we're breaking down Claude versus ChatGPT for business use. Not hype, not fan culture, but where it actually matters. Reliability, risk, alignment, and decision integrity. This isn't about which AI is cooler. It's about which AI you can defend in a boardroom. To understand which AI to trust, you have to understand how they were built. ChatGPT was designed to be broadly useful, highly capable, and flexible across a massive range of tasks. It excels in creativity, speed, multimodal capability, rapid iteration, code generation, general-purpose reasoning. It is optimized for breadth. Claude, developed by Anthropic, was built with a different emphasis. Claude was engineered around a principle called constitutional AI, a training approach designed to make the model self-correct according to a set of structured, ethical, and safety principles. That sounds abstract, but in business it becomes very practical. Claude was trained to be more cautious, admit uncertainty more often, avoid confident hallucinations, follow structured reasoning paths, and maintain alignment under ambiguity. In other words, ChatGPT aims to be powerful and versatile. Claude aims to be predictable and aligned. And in business environments, predictability often beats raw power. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. All large language models hallucinate. They generate confident-sounding answers that may not be true. For casual use, that's annoying. For business use, that's dangerous. Imagine, an AI fabricates a regulatory citation. It invents a legal precedent. It miscalculates a financial projection. It misinterprets a compliance requirement. If you copy and paste that into a client document, the liability is yours. One key behavioral difference many business users report: Claude tends to say, "I'm not certain" more often. That frustrates casual users, but for risk management, that hesitation is valuable. In enterprise contexts, an AI that occasionally refuses is safer than an AI that confidently improvises. Trust is not about brilliance, it's about knowing the boundaries. This is where Claude often stands out in business scenarios. Claude is known for its large context window, meaning it can process extremely long documents in a single prompt. Think 200-page contracts, full due diligence reports, research archives, policy manuals, M&A documentation. Why does this matter? Because business decisions rarely live in small text snippets. They live in systems. When an AI can read the entire agreement, compare clauses across sections, identify inconsistencies, maintain context over thousands of lines, it becomes a serious analytical assistant. ChatGPT is highly capable here as well, especially in structured workflows. But many enterprise users gravitate toward Claude for deep document reasoning because of its consistency across large inputs. If your workflow depends on analyzing entire systems, not fragments, context size becomes a competitive advantage. Here's a distinction that most people miss. Creative output is optimized for engagement. Defensible output is optimized for accountability. ChatGPT shines in creativity. Marketing campaigns, brainstorming, storytelling, rapid content iteration, strategy exploration. It moves fast. Claude often produces output that feels structured, careful, less flashy, more conservative, more qualified. For some people, that feels weaker. For executives, it feels safer. In a boardroom, no one rewards impressive. They reward defensible. If someone asks, "How do we know this analysis is sound?" you want an AI whose reasoning process can be explained. Claude's structured responses often align well with that requirement. We are entering a regulated AI era. Governments worldwide are introducing AI transparency requirements, risk classification systems, data handling constraints, industry-specific compliance rules. Businesses must now ask, can this AI system be audited, be documented, be justified, operate within governance frameworks? Claude's branding and development philosophy heavily emphasize safety and alignment. That positioning resonates strongly in finance, healthcare, legal sectors, public policy, enterprise SaaS. ChatGPT is also evolving in enterprise compliance, especially in its business offerings. But Claude's identity is explicitly centered around controlled intelligence. And perception matters. When executives evaluate vendors, safety-forward positioning lowers psychological resistance. Now let's be clear, Claude is not better in every situation. There are scenarios where ChatGPT dominates. If you need multimodal input, image plus text workflows, coding support with rapid iteration, creative ideation at scale, real-time brainstorming, and flexible plug-in ecosystems. ChatGPT is extremely powerful. It behaves like a highly capable, adaptive collaborator. For innovation teams, marketers, product builders, that dynamism is valuable. In many businesses, ChatGPT becomes the creative engine. Claude becomes the stabilizer. The question isn't which one wins. The question is, which role are you assigning? The smartest companies are no longer asking, which AI should we use? They're asking, how do we structure our AI stack? They assign roles. ChatGPT becomes the creative layer, brainstorming ideas, generating content, moving fast. Claude becomes the decision layer, handling analysis, risk, and high-stakes reasoning. Automation tools run the workflows in the background, and analytic systems track performance and feed insights back into the loop. This layered approach mirrors how companies structure teams. You don't hire one employee to do everything. You assign responsibilities. The future of AI in business isn't about loyalty to one model. It's about intelligent orchestration. Here's the final test. Imagine you're presenting AI-assisted analysis to stakeholders. They ask, how reliable is this? How often does it fabricate? Can we justify this decision? What safeguards are in place? Which system would you feel more comfortable defending? For some teams, that answer is ChatGPT. For others, it's Claude. The difference usually depends on risk tolerance, industry regulation, decision criticality, and internal governance standards. Trust is contextual, but blind trust is reckless. The companies that win will be the ones that evaluate AI not by hype, but by operational fit. Here's the truth. AI is no longer a novelty. It's infrastructure. And infrastructure decisions are not made based on excitement. They're made based on stability, scalability, risk containment, and long-term defensibility. Claude represents the controlled intelligence path. ChatGPT represents the expansive intelligence path. Serious businesses often need both, but they assign them carefully. If you're a founder, consultant, executive, or knowledge worker, your competitive advantage won't come from using AI. It will come from understanding where each system excels, where each system fails, how to combine them intelligently. In the next video, we'll go deeper. We'll break down how enterprises are building full AI stacks around Claude and how that structure changes productivity, governance, and strategic leverage. If you're serious about AI as a business advantage, subscribe, because the AI race isn't about who has the smartest chatbot. It's about who builds the most reliable system, and that race is just beginning.